Your intro.
Hello to you. Mini camp just wrapped up. I was at mini camp for 6 days or however long it was. You
Oh,
into football yet?
yeah. Yeah. How was that? How was minicamp? Did it feel like minicamp or did it feel like they're ready to go?
It felt like they're ready to go. Now they have these. They're not archaic. I can understand them, but they have these rules. You can only say so much. You can't really report what you see unless someone tells you that that happened. So there's a couple observations, I think, and I got this from other people, so I can say it, even though I also saw it with my own eyes. Um, Kenny Pickett's undeniably the leader of this football team. I think that it's going to be interesting to see the growth of George Pickens. And one thing I picked up from in there, from talking to everybody, coaches, players, everybody alike, Patrick Peterson comes in and it's his 13th year in the National Football League. He's going to play defensive back for this team. And I think you'll warm to this, Richard. He is going to be equal parts mentor and coach than he is football player. And it's not forced. He came in here wanting to do that. And I think that there may have been logic in signing Patrick Peterson
And Joey
than
Porter.
drafting Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I think it could have been calculated.
Yeah. Well, it was, I don't know, but calculated because we got really lucky that Joey Porter fell to the, what was it, the 20th pick? Something
Well, yeah, first pick in the second round.
second round. Yeah. So we got lucky with that. I mean, lucky, who knows if it's lucky? You never know. You step on the football field, the speed of the game changes exponentially. So we don't know. But and I agree with that. They probably did do that. I think everything they're doing is strategic right now, and I love it. How did you feel about our new tackle?
I I'll tell you what. I think Dan Moore Jr. is still everybody talks and says it's still a competition.
I don't think
Broderick Jones, I don't think it should be, but
no.
if nothing else,
Yeah.
what's going to happen is I think they'll come out of all this with three tackles that they're comfortable playing in the football game. Chooks, Dan Moore Jr., and Broderick Jones. But if you just see these guys in their street clothes and you see who they are and you see what they're about, and they don't even have football pads on, and you say, pick out the guy who you think is the best athlete and the best looking one of these three, Broderick Jones is like head and shoulders above those other two.
See, I haven't seen that, and I haven't seen him, but I would Chooks for the guy from Philadelphia.
No, that's it. The guard, Samuel Olu. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
scary good.
scary.
Scary.
Scary. And if you put those guys, I mean, honestly, I just think we are really, really going to elevate our game. And you said something though also about seeing how George Pickens Jr. ends up, what happens with him. The interesting thing is he can't perform if he doesn't get the ball. And I never could understand. He didn't have a lack of talent last year. He was an amazing talent last year, and we didn't use him. So no matter what and how good he is, somebody's going to have to explain to me for me to feel comfortable why they didn't use him. Because here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to predict this. Terrible prediction. I think the Steelers have all the talent in the world to win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
I really do. And I think the only reason that they don't and won't is in the coaching staff, specifically speaking, one man. And I
Matt
don't
Canada.
Yep. And I don't know if this team starts poorly with that talent. I would not look for Matt Canada to finish the year. And if that happens, place all the money on Pittsburgh Steelers because they are talent rich.
It would be interesting to see a midseason shift. If things don't go well, if they don't perform, if the offense isn't moving the ball and it's week 5 or week 6 and they say, let's bring in someone else. It'd be interesting to see that, to say the least.
Yeah, it would be. I just don't have that confidence level in Matt Canada. I just don't. I mean, it's been 2 years. We're going on year 3 with Matt Canada. We want to throw it all to Kenny Pickett, and you have to put your players. And I know Mike Tomlin says this all the time, and I love that he says this. You put your players in the best position to win, and I don't know how the ignoring of George Pickens,
yep,
last year, and to throw the ball to Deontay, he didn't have a touchdown pass.
Well, right? Correct. Here is the thought, and this is where the conversation should go, and I think this is a great conversation because I had it kind of quietly with some people in there. Would Kenny Pickett in year 2 as opposed to year 1, if things aren't going the direction he wants it to go in terms of the communication with Matt Canada or the things that Matt Canada are doing, is he now more apt to just tell Matt Canada to stand down and do the things he wants to do anyway and take him out of that vortex to a bigger degree? Because I think that's a conversation.
I think he likes Matt Canada, and because of their history together. So I don't even know that Kenny Pickett would be, if that's called disrespectful. I don't know that he'd do that, but I don't know, and I think Mike would do that. I think Mike would absolutely do that. I think Mike is in it to win it, as he is every year. But I think he knows now. He can taste it. It's right there. He can have it now, and he's got all the pieces. Now you're going to put your best position. You have an offensive line that's going to be monstrous, and you have a running back that should be monstrous. He's as big as a freaking house.
Oh, he's gigantic,
and nobody will stop him. So you have that. You have Kenny. You have all the skill players in the world. Deontay's going to be a big concern. I mean, he's coming into an $18 million contract. I don't know. He's really got to do something to make sure he stays in that starting rotation.
I'm gonna circle back a little bit and give you my opinion on this. Mm-hmm. I think Kenny Pickett is at a comfort level where he's going to tell if things get a little squirrely or not how he likes. I think he realizes he may have veto power. I think he realizes he's a bigger dog and he's going to be here longer. And I think he might tell Matt Canada to get the hell out of my way if it's happened to not go the way that they're supposed to go.
I would love that. I would love to see that. I just watched a clip on, I think, Instagram and I don't know what game they were playing, where Mike was saying, "Tonight we grew up." What was that clip? I don't know.
Yeah, that was earlier this year. That was late in the year last year.
Yes.
When Kenny Pickett led him on a big drive at the end of the football game.
Yeah. Tonight we grew up. And I think, that there's a lot of truth to that. And, you have to go through it sometimes, like he did, and prove it. But so interestingly, in this expanded role where I see you everywhere now.
Oh, I know.
I mean, it's crazy. I see you walking and talking, and I'm going to cut to that for a second.
Yeah, tell me.
Because you did a walking and talking, which I love that concept. Love it. And I love how you're utilizing it in all different phases, whether it's the mayor of the city, whether it's my guy,
Phil Dracovic.
And I'm going to ask you a tough question.
Go ahead.
So you did an interview, walking and talking with Phil. How do you compare Phil to Kenny Pickett?
You're going to have to give me 3 games this year, because I think for the first time in his career, he's absolutely comfortable between his ears. He admitted to me and said, if I had to do this all over again, I probably would have just gone to Pitt to start it, to start my career. Yeah. I went to Notre Dame. They're a very religious family. His grandmother and all the way down, everybody they don't ever miss church. They're very Catholic family. Notre Dame has that aura and that lure. Plus, from a football standpoint, they do. Then he gets there and he doesn't really get a fair shake. The numbers game, the quarterback room was a little bit strange. I think if he would have got that fair shake from the beginning, he would have been the starter and had his whole career there.
Yes. So
then he's forced to be kind of the new guy at Boston College. He goes and he transfers there. Was that ever gained all the traction? No, they weren't. He didn't have the players around him that he really thought, other than Zay Flowers and the tight end that was pretty good. But the line got him killed. The offensive line was one of the worst in Division I football. So now he comes in. He gets injured. Yeah. Right. So now he's here and he goes into a full season knowing he's the man. He has all the pieces. and he has a clear-cut objective, two of them in front of him. One, get myself to the NFL from a selfish standpoint, and two, get this football team close to, if not win, an ACC championship again. So I think he goes into it as comfortable as he's been since his senior year of high school. So after 3 games, I'll be able to answer that. I think, though, in just watching some of the drills, because they're down there working out some, there's no question that everybody follows him. He says something, he has command of everybody. He does something in a drill, they all stop and look. And through spring practice, the football never hit the ground. Like, he is playing his
You're talking about Phil.
other players with Phil.
Yeah. You could juxtapose that, and you could be actually talking about Kenny Pickett also.
I could. And the other part too is, and you saw it in the video when I'm walking with him, I look like I'm 4'6", and that's not the case.
Monster.
Phil is 6'6.5", about 252 pounds.
Yeah,
he's as big as Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, those are the dimensions.
Yeah.
He is a big guy. It is in front, and now it comes to Phil. Now it comes to his responsibility. There's no excuses. There's no more stuff other than an injury, and hopefully that doesn't happen again. It's laid out for him to be an NFL quarterback. He needs to go get it now.
Yep, that's all.
That's it.
Are there. Yeah, no, you're right, and I think Coach Narduzzi did his part by announcing immediately. There's no questions. We're not playing games here. This is your starter. He did it the day he signed. The day he signed the letter to come to Pitt, Pat Narduzzi said, "This is our starting quarterback," and I think that really, really made an impact on Phil also. And Phil and us, we have an NIL relationship with Phil also. In addition to being personal friends, family lives near me, and his brother works here actually. So I have a vested interest in Phil as a person more than anything. I love him. So I'm really, really looking forward. I wanted to hear what your thoughts were. Do you have any other thoughts about him?
Yeah. I set up this thing with him. It's kind of like behind the scenes, He couldn't have been more, college kids are college kids. He couldn't have been more responsible. He couldn't have been more on time. He couldn't have been more willing and wanting to do it. And also more at ease with kind of wanting to get his story out. I almost felt like in talking to Phil, it was therapeutic to say, can I talk to somebody? And I'm happy it was me. Can I talk to somebody to compartmentalize and take and put in a box the last 4 years of my life and put it here and throw it down a chute somewhere and be done with it once and for all, and then launch my next life, like launch what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like that happened.
Colin, do you think because he gets those questions all the time? Like
he's going to get them again as the season starts. He got them all through spring ball, and he just wanted to, not to announce to the world, but just wanted to definitively say, I'm the quarterback at the University of Pittsburgh. I want the University of Pittsburgh to win a lot of football games, and I want to use these next 12, 13 games, whatever it is. I want to use these football games selfishly too, for me to get to the NFL. So all the stuff that happened in the past is part of my story and part of the avenue that got me here. Not in a condescending way to anybody. I don't care about that anymore.
Right.
This is, Phil AD, not BC.
I love it. Colin, tell me a little bit more about Walking and Talking. Tell me about that show. How often is that going to run?
Probably about once a month. I'm lining up some different people from all walks of life. And I find interviews when you sit at a table across from somebody sort of bland a lot of times. And they're comfortable atmospheres, but they're too comfortable that you don't offer great answers. I find nothing more comfortable than going out and going for a walk for somebody. If you need to blow off steam or you need to really communicate somebody else, hey, let's go for a walk.
Yep.
And so I figured out that concept. I did it with Phil. I'm going to do it with some other people, both in and out of sports. And I think the most captivating ones will be the ones with people that aren't in sports, and just go for a 10-minute walk with them, 10, 12-minute walk, and just talk about everything. And I have one, I'm not going to tell you who the subject is. Somebody that's prominent, a television personality here in Pittsburgh. And I've already talked to this person about it. And they want to bring up the amount of people on social media that just say nasty things to them, and how we've lost our grip as a society, how we communicate with each other. And we look at this space, this internet space, as like a fake world, but how it impacts people.
What a great show that would be.
Yeah.
So relevant.
Because it has a deep impact on people emotionally. And it's crazy the words you say and how quick and apt people are to say incredibly nasty things without fear of reprisal and without any without needing to answer for it at all.
Yes. And I think both of us have been on the other side of that.
Yeah.
Right. And that is irritating. I remember one time somebody came to my daughter and said, "Hey, I was hanging out with your dad last night at such and such bar. And yeah, your dad's pretty cool." But, and then they went on to say something. And my daughter called me and said, "Dad, first of all," she said, "I don't think you were with my dad. My dad doesn't drink."
Right.
And they said, "Yeah, no, we were with your dad." And my daughter called me and said that to me. And I said, somebody posted it. And I said, "Honey, I've never been there. I will never be there.
Right.
Not in your life. I don't care whether it's drink, to talk, to walk. It doesn't matter. I'm not there. I never was there." And it's so obvious that what people do. And I know I've been on that side. You've been on that side. It's just crazy to me. And I love that you're going to attack that.
Yeah, it's a fake world. It is such a great disseminating tool to push out information, to inform, and to entertain. But you have so many people using it for different things, and all the planes are crossing, and then it becomes dangerous.
Yes, it does. Well, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for all the new things I see you doing, multi-platform, where it all intersects and how we can be part of that. I'm really excited about that. And I'm really excited about your 12-year-old son.
Oh, he wants to work on a NASCAR pit crew.
I mean, and you know what he'll do? He'll work on a NASCAR pit crew.
He's only a Ford guy, right? He's only a Ford guy.
100% amazing.
Yes.
Take him for a ride in this Shelby. Take him for a ride in it.
Oh,
scream. You drive it, take him for a ride in it.
He is going to do, as soon as he's old enough, the experience at the Ford Performance School in Charlotte. That's his thing. So
you know what? I have 2 of those positions right now that have been already paid for, and my son didn't use it. So I have 2 prepaid seats in that school right now. So when he's 16, if they're still there, they're his. But take him for a ride in the Shelby GT500 that I have sitting here. It's a Heritage Brittany Blue, the baddest ass car. He will feel it. You start it, it will rumble underneath him. He will absolutely be the most excited that you have seen him. And I mean, I offer that. I extend that to you. Just come to him and take him for a ride.
That's awesome. All right. Well, off to practice, off to do things, and you have a wonderful, another great lapel by you today.
Oh yeah, you like that?
A lot.
See, some people would have a little squirty in here, and when
I was just gonna say that. Do you remember the old cartoons with that little squirt water?
I think you just aged yourself. Goodbye.
Goodbye.